Good evening to all of you. So, in continuation of our lesson on midterm module, we finished plant anatomy already, and so we're going to continue on lesson 2. Sa lesson 2 niya, lesson 2 na wrong siya, no? So, lesson 3 supposedly na ni. Still under lesson 2, but flowers na siya na anatomy. And lastly, we are here now on lesson 3, photosynthetic and cellular respiration. So actually humana ba taan ni? Humana man ni ang respiration and transpiration. So we'll have actually yung absorption na transpiration and lesson 4 on translocation and transpiration. But before that, let's just have a wait for the rest muna. Ano man yun siya? Ignore. Okay. Then 3:22. Okay, so I guess we'll just continue anyway. So this is on translation, absorption, and transpiration. So last time we discussed on respiration, wherein it will utilize the photosynthase from photosynthesis. Excuse me. So it will utilize the photosynthase from photosynthesis for growth and development through respiration. And now the energy that being produced during respiration will be translocated na, and we will also study on the absorption of the different nutrients by the roots and how it goes up to the plant and distribute to the different parts, and how does transpiration occur. So anyone who would like to define what is transpiration which is different to respiration. Ano ba ang transpiration? Let's say let's have Catherine. Catherine, are you there? Or anyone who would like to? So when we say translocation, actually I have a more let's watch about translocation of nutrients, no, before we proceed with our discussion. Translocation. Okay, so we will have flow and transpiration. Transpiration and translocation. Okay, so let's try to watch this. A window. Okay, Let's try to watch this.
In this video, we're going to take a look at the mass transport systems of plants. So we'll explore how they transport their sugars, which is known as translocation, and their water through transpiration.
Okay, so pwede na share.
Sugars through photosynthesis. But all of this photosynthesis happens in the leaves. So in order to share these sugars with the rest of the plant, so that they can be used for energy, they have to be transported somewhere. This process is known as translocation, and it's mainly achieved by phloem cells, which are arranged end to end to form long.
So, madungog ninyo ang ano. Kasi dapat ikuan na ako.
In this video, we're going to take a look at the mass transport systems of plants. So we'll explore how they transport their sugars, which is known as translocation, and their water through transpiration.
Hindi siya maklaro, no?
They want to make their own sugars through photosynthesis. But all of this
Wait lang ha. Bigyan na ano na ako. So, stop sharing, share, a tab, a window. Okay. So, dalahan pa kasi nag-ano.
In this video, we're going to take a look at mass transport systems.
Nakita na ninyo?
So we'll
Dili
explore
pa, no?
how they transport their sugars, which
Pandamay man eh. Sorry. Share a tab na lang. Dili ko siya tab. Share entire screen na lang. Nalibog na gug ko. Okay, so ingnan ako madungog ninyo.
Yes, ma'am.
or how they transport their sugars, which is known as translocation, and their water through transpiration. Plants make their own sugars through photosynthesis. But all of these photosynthesis happens in leaves. So in order to share these sugars with the rest of the plant, so that they can be used for energy, they have to be transported somewhere. This process is known as translocation, and it's mainly achieved by phloem cells, which are arranged end to end to form long columns and called phloem tubes. If you look closely though, you can see that in between the adjacent cells, there are lots of small pores or gaps. And these pores enable the movement of cell sap, which is basically a liquid mixture of water and sugar. This means that the sugars that were made in the leaves can be transported long distances between multiple cells. Sugars finally make it to whatever cells they go into. They can use for two things, either directly for energy, or they can be stored so that they can be used for energy later. And one last thing to point out is that the phloem can transport substances in either direction, so up or down the plant. Next to the phloem tubes, we have the xylem tubes. These are also made up of column of cells, but this time they're dead xylem cells with no ends between them. So they effectively form one long hollow tube, and they're strengthened with a material called lignin. Their goal is to transport both water and the mineral ions from the roots up the stem to the leaves, where the water can be used for photosynthesis. Now, the weird thing about the movement of water through a plant is that the entire thing is driven by the evaporation of water from the leaves. If you imagine all the water molecules as being arranged in one long chain, then every time the water evaporates from the leaf out of the stomata, It drags the rest of the chain up slowly, pulling in other water molecule to replace it. And as water is continually evaporating, because remember this tomato needs there'll be a steady stream of water flowing.
I am so proud of my Okay, so that's it, no? As but that was transferation and translocation, no? So I'll have another tab siguro. Ang sa manipulate at tab. Dalang ha. So, share. Wala lagi. Share a window na lang. Okay. Okay, so this is it. No? That was a video on more on transpiration and absorption. But for translocation, we have the so-called it's also part, no, kasi from absorption of water. So as from the video itself, we have learned that the water through the pressure, the turgor pressure from the transpiration. So pag mainit, in other words, pag mainit gani kaayo ang environment, ang weather, so anong mangyayari? Diba? Mag-evaporate ang tubig from the lids. And that is called transpiration or the evaporation of water from the leaves. And what will happen is that magkakaroon ng turgor pressure sa root system because of the lack of water. No? The lost water will create the need to pump in more water from the roots. Kaya that will facilitate the upward flow of water. No? Now, in translocation naman, this is different because this will translocate the sucrose that is being transported to the flowing vessels. So, for usually meron yang sink and meron yang yung mga, usually yung mga flowering, yung mga growing tips, usually yun yung mga sink, no? Ibig sabihin yun yung mga need ng sucrose or energy. So on this I also have a there could also be a nice presentation on this before we proceed with translocation. Translocation. So there's another explanation on this, and let's try to watch. Ayan. Okay, so that's it. So now we have that presentation on how really plants translocate its photosynthesis from the source to the sinks. Now it was explained very well on the presentation. Okay, so to continue naman, I hope that was clear, no? And we have two vascular bundles that involve in this process. We have the phloem and the xylem. So the xylem is the one which transport water, no, from the roots to up up to the plant parts, no, and it will the water and as well as other nutrients like chemicals, no, in the form of fertilizer will move from xylem to phloem in the process called osmosis, diba? Or the transfer of the movement of water or particles from the area of higher concentration to lower concentration gradient, no? Or it could be active transport, no? Kasi passive transport, yun ibig sabihin walang energy na ginagamit. In the active transport, it needs energy, no? And in this case, sa phloem, kailangan from the source or photosynthesis papunta doon sa mga sink. It's either in the root or in the leaf or in the growing flowers and fruits. So it needs active transport. Na it means it will use ATP para ma-transfer siya, no, from the source to the sink as shown on the video. Now, as water has the ability para of course, take note, no fertilizer or nutrients will be moved without water, no, especially from the roots. So it has to be accompanied by water, and water has this certain physical characteristic, or because of its hydrogen bonds, it has the adhesive. Ibig sabihin, di ba, dali ra siya mupilit, pag bubo nimo, mupilit siya dayon, and it has the cohesive, meaning magpundo siya, dili siya katag kung ibubo nato, right? So, and the plants also have sieve tube, wherein it will make the flow of water easily, no? So, ayun. And what else? Kailan ba dapat dilig? Early in the morning, or what time is the best time para magdilig ng ating mga halaman? Yes, Radine? Ha?
Hapon og buntag, ma'am.
Hapon og buntag. Kung init day kaayo, kasi mahitabo.
Bawal, ma'am, kay maano ang plants, basta na siya epekto sa plant. Matay siya, ma'am.
Mamatay. So actually it's because of the pag of course not ting ulan, no, kasi like mag-spray ka ng fertilizer or foliar fertilizer, of course dapat 2 hours before siya ulan para ma-absorb pa niya. And if ever you need to water our plants, so it's best na in the morning before siya as in the middle of very hot temperature, kasi when the temperature is very high and hot, malos lang siya through transpiration, diba? So tama to, Sir Redin. And not naman too late in the afternoon, mga 3 p.m. no, na tama lang siya ang weather for its absorption. So yes, thank you. So this is just a comparison of xylem and phloem. No, ang gamit nila. So xylem mostly are used for transpiration process. So as you can see of what we have watched earlier, it moves water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. Not it uses columns of hollow dead rain for cells seed tubes, while the phloem is for the translocation or moves food substances from leaves or to the rest of the plant parts through columns of living cells. So in the process of absorption, it will usually based on the turgor pressure created by transpiration. So the factors affecting absorption could be environmental factors such as the amount of water in the soil or the optimum, which is optimum at field capacity, no? And we have the DPD of soil water, no? The PWP also when it stops and declines or permanent wilting point. And usually ang normal na DPD is 0.01 to 0.03, no? And for example, for halophytes, because these are for us exempted, no? We have also soil, air, or oxygen content. And and of course, since sinabi ko kanina, transpiration, it will create a force to pump, no? And soil temperature pag mainit for water absorption. And while higher or lower temperature will reduce water absorption din. Or mga internal plant factors such as gaano ang root system niya, ang growth and metabolism, ang depth ng root system. So pag sandy and then fibrous root lang siya, dili kayo siya maka-absorb, no? And if clay naman siya and then taproot siya, so pwede pa siyang enough, no? Na absorption or resistance, no? May mga water absorbed by root hairs. It will travels to the root interior and it will rise upwardly. So it will also depend on the rate of transfer. So kanina, the diffusion is mentioned as the movement of particles of gases. So movement of particles and gases will be from higher to lower concentration. So meron din tayo tinatawag na independent diffusion wherein it will exert its own diffusion pressure called partial pressure. No? And facilitated diffusion is meron siyang gradient. No? It will depend on the substance or smaller fast particles. So there are a lot of actually factors, no? Depending on the membrane, kung hydrophilic ba siya, or proteins ba siya, or in facilitated diffusion, pwede rin gamit ng ATP or energy, no? And until ma-reach niya ang maximum of transporter as facilitated this diffusion and protein form of channels. And we also have porins, the proteins which have huge pores and will in the outer membranes of plastids and mitochondria, and there are some bacteria that will allow molecules up to the size of this, no? So there are other factors influencing diffusion like temperature, density of the substance, gases, density of the medium, the concentration or diffusion pressure, and the distance. So diffusion is very important as it will keep the cell wall of the internal plant moist, and gaseous exchange during process of photosynthesis is very important in respiration also, and in the respiration of water vapor. So even the aroma of flowers is due to diffusion of actually the volatile compounds, aromatic compounds, para ma-attract yung pollinating insects or animals. And during passive uptake, ions are absorbed in the process ng diffusion. So madaming gamit talaga ang diffusion, no? It will also help translocation of food materials. So another type of movement is yung osmosis, wherein water solvent from a higher to lower concentration ang movement naman niya. Meron din tayong tinatawag na reverse osmosis wherein yung pure water from a solution through semi-permeable membrane under the influence ng external pressure o higher OP of water. So reverse osmosis is it's just like removing salt from saline water as well as extra purification of water. So it has endosmosis or exosmosis. Endo meaning into the cell, while exo of withdrawal outside the cell. So ang osmosis naman ay ginagamit a lot, no, sa absorption ng water by roots, turgidity of plant organs, cell-to-cell movement, opening and closing ng stomata, and resistant to drought. No? Osmotic pressure OP has maximum and it will also develop system para sa entry ng water under ideal conditions. So meron siyang tinatawag na semi-permeable membrane and permeable membrane. So permeable membrane will allow all to pass, while semi-permeable only allow some. No? And factors affecting are the concentration ng particles and temperature. And lastly, we have transpiration, no, due to the loss of water. And there are also a lot of factors, no. It's also very similar to formation of water vapor, and occurrence of air is saturated, and it also influenced by light. And up to 99% water absorption is lost during transpiration. So, ganun siya kaano, no? So, meron din tayong cuticular transpiration, stomatal transpiration, of course, through the cuticle, through the stomata, through the lenticels. So, that is why the lips have a lot of stomata and it easily transpire, no? Like petshite has thousands of stomata, and there are many others. So, even there are 4 categories based sa kanyang stomata. In the barley cereal type, so dumbbell shape siya. In alfalfa naman, open siya pag day, close naman during night. And potato type are present in both surface. More lang siya on the lower than the upper. And yung equisetum type, the stomata remains open and seldom closed. No? So there are a lot of types. And there are also a lot of factors in the stomatal opening. Una, light. Of course, it will open in light, but not all the time. Sometimes close. In light, depende sa weather. If they are cactus and other calm plants, if they are calm plants or crassulacean acid metabolism, and it will really definitely close in darkness. So the low carbon concentration will open the stomata, and oxygen is very essential in stomatal opening. Humidity also, and plant hydration, hormones, no, especially abscisic acid will close the stomata, and acidity. If it is acidic, it will induce closure, and mechanical shock, it will close the stomata. In terms of temperature naman, high temperature will open the stomata. And of course, the influx of potassium will close the stomata. No? And influx will close. The influx of potassium will open the stomata, while efflux or outside or paglabas ng stomata, it will close the stomata. So there are a lot of factors for transpiration. This include humidity, temperature, light, no, and soil water. Internal factors such as leaf surface area, root shoot ratio, mucilage, sunken stomata, thick cuticle, leaf modification, and mesophyll. And how does measurement of transpiration occur? Through using photometer or an instrument to use the measurement of the rate of transpiration. And we also have perometer, or an instrument that gives a rough idea of the stomatal opening. We also have cobalt chloride paper tests, or used for atmospheric humidity. So, of course, transpiration, although it will lose water, it is also very important in the upward movement of water. For without water, the essential nutrients will not also be transported inside the plant. And the absorption and translocation of mineral salts, the rapid evaporation through transpiration will cool down the plants, or the cooling effect din yan. So, yun yung mga important effects, no? And for your activity, you're going to illustrate the fusion and osmosis in plants absorption process and analysis question. So, any questions or clarification? Anyone before we end?
Wala na, ma'am.
Wala na, sure na mo. So, I guess yun lang, no? And we will continue next meeting with our next topic. So, if there are no questions, so hopefully you will answer your activities, because that is automatically part na din ng inyong prelim and midterm exam. No? Automatic na siya. So I guess that would be all, everyone, and thank you very much for joining with me, and see you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye-bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am. Awa na mo!